it's going to be cold, and the rut is going to be great.
Nice stand, come out, Jason. Somebody else around.
I don't care where those bucks are going to come from or where you think they're going to come from. No matter what, they're not going to stop until they get to that downwind side.
Oh, that's a big buck, buddy.
Pre-rut bucks are thinking about breeding, but they know the importance of putting on weight before rutting voyages take a toll on their body. As the food sources change, you'll need to change where you hunt to find the whitetails in your area. Rubs and scrapes will provide information on patterns as well as core areas. This is the information you'll need to have to pinpoint where the bucks are, whether they're bedding or feeding. Don't put all your chips on scrapes and rubs, as bucks will start to shift to spending more time checking does on fields and in bedding areas. It's not uncommon for some does to come into heat in this window. As you make out your game plan, put all the pieces of the puzzle onto the table. With the rubs, scrapes, and feeding patterns, a hunter can put together a good strategy that'll increase their odds of success and put you in a pretty good scenario for an opportunity at your target buck. Hunting white-tailed deer is an ever-changing challenge, especially hunting mature bucks. Just because one spot was good last year does not necessarily mean that it'll be a productive area in the next. Remember, deer patterns can change rapidly. Just as soon as we think we have them figured out, hunting pressure can cause deer habits to change very quickly. Early gun seasons before bow season and youth firearm seasons can contribute to this change in deer habits. So it's important to keep your options open, be observant, and not get complacent. Let the wind dictate your stand choice for a morning or evening hunt. Always be on the downwind side of travel routes. Never risk sitting in a stand with a questionable wind. If the wind is wrong, wait for more favorable conditions. On days with unfavorable wind conditions, you might want to find a new stand location or set up a ground blind. Fence rows can be ideal locations for ground blinds as they are frequent travel paths for deer. Even a perch in between the branches of a downed tree can work well in a pinch. Always be on the lookout for new stand locations. As deer habits change, don't be afraid to adjust with them. Weather patterns have stabilized this week after the last cold front, and you can plan on a few days of similar winds and temperatures. With that said, keep an eye on the tail end of the red moon as predicted by the Moon Guide, where the next couple-day peak feeding times correlate to the major moon times. DeerCast is holding steady and good predictions for the next few days amongst most of the areas we cover, and Huntstand is predicting moderate deer activity mostly concentrated in the evening.
Hey guys, it's Mike Reber, and I'm out here today refreshing a few of my mock scrape sites and wanted to share a few tips that I found useful as the season progresses. During the late summer and early fall, I like to fire all of my mock scrape sites up along field edges and transition points using this raw frozen scent scrape lure. Now, whether it's hanging on a wick like the one right behind me or a scent dripper, I find that both bucks and does will frequent these sites while moving through the area. As the season progresses, I like to actually change lures, and I like to use a multi-buck urine at these very same sites poured directly on the ground. Right before the rut, I'm going to change one more time, and at that point I'm going to use the Raw Frozen Scents Peak Extra Scent, and I'm going to actually apply that to a scent drag and walk it in right behind me each time I come to my spot. I usually create a half circle in front of my stand at about 20 yards, and then once I'm done with that half circle, I like to leave that drag on the ground within shooting distance. These scents are shipped to you frozen solid, they're great quality, and they're never old. Each time you open one, it's brand new. I've had incredible results with both these scents and techniques, and hope that you do too this season.
Pre-rut bucks are not an easy animal to hunt. As long as the hunter puts in the time and effort to gather information and spends the time hunting, it'll come together for the hunter sooner than later. Pay attention to the weather, and the next cold front could bring a flurry of big bucks on their feet during shooting hours. The 2023 Rut Report is proudly brought to you by these fine partners: Mossberg, since 1919; Taurus, award-winning pistols and revolvers; Pyramid Air, the right products for your needs; Raw Frozen Scents; Habit outdoors. Forget genetics. Reveal cellular cameras. Spy point cameras. Stealth cam and muddy outdoors.